Good day. Today is not an easy day for me. And as a coach who deals with trauma in life, who deals with relationships, who deals with work-life management, or work-life balance, if I want to term it better, this is the type of warning that I cannot always foresee coming my way when it does come my way. And this happens all too often. So let me address you in your work-life management when things go wrong in your relationship. My dearest husband, it's been so long. By the time you read this, it's too late. I've been patient. And now I have decided that I cannot do this anymore. When you hear these words, what happens to you? I know it's just your wife nagging. What does she want again? And on and on and on. There are so many demands on you in the workplace. And now this. What do you do with it? But here it goes. My dearest husband, as I write this letter, I cannot help but acknowledge that there is additional factors that have contributed to my decisions to ending our marriage. It's a huge topic that has been difficult for me to breach, but I believe that it is important to address if we are to move forward in a healthy way. And you just glance over it. What is she talking about? What are the additional factors? Yes, she nags and nags and nags and nags about the same stuff over and over and over again. Complaining about spending too many hours at work, complaining about you having too many whiskies or wines or brandies when you come home, complaining about your escape routes that you use in your men's cave. So she complains about a lot. Do you want to hear those complaints? Absolutely not. Are they valid? Well, they're not valid to you, otherwise you would have heard them. But they're valid to her. So if she could just stop nagging, is your thought, then everything would be better. Then she goes on. I want to talk about these topics so that we can move forward in a healthy way. And your thought is, if she wants to end the marriage, she must end the marriage. What's there to talk about? But she says, if we are to move forward in a healthy way. This is conflicting, isn't it? She wants to end the marriage, and then she wants to move forward in a healthy way. What is she talking about? I hear you. It is conflicting. But let's just think about this. There's obviously somebody who is very, very frustrated in this relationship. And it does not mean that you, dear husband, are not also frustrated. But what happens is that when we do not come together in a good way, we cannot talk about topics that are difficult. And when we can't talk about topics that are difficult, they just continue lingering. And let me tell you something about women. Because it is not finished for them, they bring it up again and again. For you, you have ticked it off. She's spoken about it, you've heard it, and you've ticked it off. But because there is no progress that is good for her, she keeps nagging. And that's not good for either of you. So let's see how she continues. What is a healthy way? A healthy way is for you to stop and acknowledge what has been said. Acknowledge the frustration that she feels. And I know that it's the most difficult thing for you to do, because does she acknowledge the stress that you are under at work? And you don't feel acknowledged. So here it goes. She's also probably under stress at work. And she comes home and she has to continue what goes on with the family and the kids. And you may be helping as best as you can, but something is slipping. And that's the key. Something is slipping. Maybe you're not managing your work-life balance. Maybe she's not managing her work-life balance. Whichever way, something is slipping. But she's calling an end to this marriage. And I want to really be clear. It could be the end of your total marriage, or it could be the end of the way this marriage is currently going. Either way, a way forward that is healthy needs to be found, because changes need to be made, either in this marriage, and I hope that it is in this marriage, because that's where my heart is, or outside of this marriage. There's still a family, there's still children, and we still need to move forward in a healthy way. Over the years, I have noticed that you have increasingly avoided dealing with the challenges in our marriage. Instead of addressing our issues head on, you have turned to various addictions, whether it be alcohol, drugs, or work. I've seen you do these things to avoid confronting the difficult emotions and problems we face. And I don't want to have any judgment on that. We all use avoidance techniques. Women just do it differently to men. But when we go into avoidance techniques, it does not solve the problem. It merely covers it up. It merely puts it under a blanket. And it shoves it away for the problem to be dealt with on another day. Or if it were, by your preference, not to be dealt with at all. And how good is that? As we see, it may not be good at all. This avoidance has been painful for me to witness. It has left me feeling even more isolated and unsupported, as though you are not willing or able to be there for me when I need you the most. It also made it incredibly difficult for us to make any progress in resolving our issues. So can you hear the loneliness that is expressed here? And I know for a fact that you feel just as lonely, because you also don't feel heard, acknowledged, and accepted. And there's a little bit, maybe she can speak it out and you can't, or you speak it out in a different format. Whichever way you deal with your problems differently, I want us to hear the loneliness that is now starting to evolve in this union of yours. And while that loneliness can be pushed under when we are active, when we do things, it still is there. It's there in the small hours of the morning. It is there when we need a partner and the partner is not available. I want you to be clear that I do not blame you for your addictions or avoidances. I know that they are the result of a complex interplay of factors, including your own emotional struggles and our difficult marriage. However, I believe that it is important for you to acknowledge the role they have played in our relationship and to take steps to address them. And this is normally where it ends. Nobody can make you change your ways. Nobody can have an expectation of you to change your ways. So, what do we do? How are we going to go forward in a healthy way? I truly believe with the right support and guidance, we can both work through these challenges and come out on the other side stronger and happier. This is very hopeful. There is an offer on the table. Let's make this marriage work. I'm not going to give up on you. I want this marriage to work, but I can't do it alone. But it will require both of us to be willing to confront our issues head on, to communicate honestly and openly, and to support each other through this process. And so, yes, it takes both people in a marriage to come through. It takes both people to make it work. For the marriage itself, and also for the children, if there are children involved. So in this letter, there is a call for you to reach out to. And so this letter continues with a call. I hope that you will consider reaching out to Sonia at Healing Point, not only to work on our relationship, but also to address the addictions that have taken hold in your life. I know that it will be difficult and a difficult journey, but I believe that it's one that is worth taking. With all my love and respect, your soon-to-be ex-wife. So again, we have this conflict. Soon-to-be ex-wife is a warning for you. The call is to take a journey with, in this case, me, or somebody that can really help you to address these issues. How can I help you as Sonia from Healing Point? I can help you manage your work-life balance. Because I know that if you manage your work-life balance, I don't believe those addictions are insurmountable. I believe they are just covering up something that you don't want to face. And I have a sense that if you face that which is really troubling you, And no, it has nothing to do with your wife. This is the key. It is your challenges. And your wife and your family is only the recipient of when things go wrong for you. So no, I'm not going to work with your wife. I'm going to work with you because you have the struggle. And I know that when we support you in your struggles, then we can support your wife with her struggles. So it starts with you. You need to make the call. And I implore you, please, please, please. I don't want her to be your soon-to-be ex-wife. I want you to be in this relationship happier and healthier than ever before. Why don't you make the call so that we can have a chat? Whatever happens between you and me in our chats has nothing to do with your wife. But I know that when you manage your work-life balance, you will be able to manage your relationship at home with your wife and your family much better. Give me a call. Don't wait. Don't waste any time. Let this be a successful relationship. And let's ignore this soon-to-be ex-wife. Let's ignore it. Let's go for it. You have it in your hands to pick up the challenge and really, really, really work through this with me. See you soon.